When the world is threatened by terrorists on a level where everyone's hands are tied, the last option is to call the Impossible Mission Force. The IMF just might send one of their elitists of the already elite agents, Ethan Hunt. Not Tom Cruise Ethan Hunt, though. They couldn't afford him. Hey, I'm Yusuf for Video Game Plot Summaries, and this is Mission Impossible Operation Surma. First things first, the quick game review. It's a discount Splinter Cell, but it has a lot of gadgets like Metal Gear, even some that aren't in either game, which is good. The problem was that I had such a hard time organizing all this crap that I wish they had combined some of them to save some space, or even better, automatically use some of them so they didn't need to be selectable. Fortunately, when you select them, the screen pauses. Also, there was a part at the end, after the final difficulty spike, where they needed to give you a tutorial. And it's too late for tutorials when you are close to the end. Made me really sour. Anyway, story time. For those of you who want to know about chronology, this game came out in 2003, which puts it in the middle of MI2 and MI3. Ethan Hunt is doing some scuba diving without the scuba gear, of course, just holding his breath, you know, as you do. When some scuba divers show up, Ethan checks his watch, which apparently tells him when he's gonna faint because why the heck would he know, and pulls out his knife ready for some underwater sparring. One of the men pulls out a harpoon gun and shoots it, and he's way off, but then they just leave. Ethan goes to the harpoon, opens it up. It's a briefing and some air. In the briefing, Ethan's boss tells him about an ex-intelligence agent, Simon Algo, that was able to seize Yugaria and become its president. He has a bunch of spies that he uses for stuff, but his most trusted spy, Mikhail Marcoux, has expressed an interest in defecting. As a bargaining chip, Marcoux has a disc that details a lot of covert activities like stolen weapons information. Ethan's job, should he choose to accept it, is to escort Marcoux and the disc to safety. Ethan can choose his team, but they essentially choose it for him. Luther Stickle, the tech guy, Billy Baird, the transportation guy whose face you never see outside of that picture, Jasmine Curry, a new agent that they caught at the shooting range for some reason, and failed doctor but successful actor, George Spelvin. Whatever, Ethan is out of there. Ethan arrives at the Ministry of Information in Yugaria at the 5th year celebration of Simon Algo's rise to power. The fireworks are going off non-stop, but no one is there. Yugaria tax dollars at work, huh? Now, this section is a little weird. Ethan proceeds forward and hacks Luther into the system. Jasmine is supposed to make a drop, but she doesn't because she thinks she's been made. So she dumps the drop by a dumpster and runs back to the van. Why? Not why did she do this, but why write that into the story? Like, at all. Just say the drop was at the trash bin. These are supposed to be elite agents of the IMF. Why does she suck right off the bat? I'll tell you right now, Ethan doesn't end up having sweaty relations with her, like in MI2, so what's this even about? Women, am I right? Can't even spy right. Anyway, Ethan gets his gear and meets up with Marcoux. Marcoux doesn't want to give up the disc right away, so Ethan accompanies him through the courtyard past the security door. But once they get past that, a mysterious hand with a gun in it appears out of the shadows and shoots Marcoux. Ethan catches him and pulls him out of the line of fire. the killer steps out and orders some henchmen to beat Ethan up real good. And Ethan checks Mercu, and he's dead. Yeah, well. Fortunately, he still has the disc on him. Good thing Ethan has morals, because he could have just whooped Mercu's butt and took the disc. Speaking of whooping butt, Ethan whoops up on the jobbers and chases after the general killer and loses him. Just then, the white van with the rest of the crew peels in with Luther on some Rambo-ish. Say, get down. Ethan jumps in there and they peel off. Damn, no cars in Yugaria, huh? Cops can't find a white van? They send the disc to IMF and they come back with a briefing. The disc indicates there is a connection to a cutting-edge, high-security science facility called Los Muertos. Its information is being leaked, and the IMF suspects Jong Ho Lee, a freelance intelligent guy who knows Simon Aldo. Ethan has to figure out how the information is being stolen and do whatever with Jong Ho.
We also need a pic of one of the guards. Spelvin needs clear shots to fabricate the mask you'll need once you're in there. That means you need to take photos from close range and capture their faces. Should be a walk in the park.
At Los Muertos, oh, I said that horribly bad. At Los Muertos, Ethan gets pictures of Dr. Kenneth Norton and a random guard so that Spelvin can make disguises. After Ethan gets the pic of Dr. Norton, he follows Norton into his office and knocks him out cold. Then hacks into his computer and finds out that some important people are taking a tour of the base. When Spelvin finishes the disguises, he shows up at Dr. Norton's office as Dr. Norton and gives Ethan his jobber outfit, but couldn't get Ethan a pass card. I don't know why Ethan didn't get the pass card from one of the several guards he knocked out to get to that spot, but now he needs to get one. Ethan gets by the first gate by being recognizable as Jim the Jobber by a security guard. But once he gets inside, he sees another guard that looks like him, they all do by the way, and beats him up to get his pass card. In the fight, his disguise was messed up, so he's back to regular old Ethan Hunt. So Ethan makes his way to the computer core at the same time Spelvin makes his way to the computer core security system. This is basically the game's chance to get you to do that cool move from Mission Impossible 2, where Tom Cruise is on a suspended rope getting information from a computer in the middle of a pressure-sensitive floor in a heat-sensitive room. It really has nothing to do with the plot. It was just, oh man, they really wanted to use this gimmick. After bypassing the system, Ethan gets into the actual core and finds that he doesn't have the password. Just then, the director came through with the tour that Ethan found out about on Dr. Norton's computer. The director leaves the two tourists in the room. One of them is clearly the information dealer, Jung Ho Lee, but we don't know the lady. The lady gets on the computer and starts a download over the internet, telling Jong Ho that it would take a couple of hours to complete. Jong Ho, of course, tries to pressure her like she can somehow speed up a damn download.
Let me remind you, this is our only opportunity. We must be sure not to squander it.
The download has begun. I suggest we take Director Vogler up on his offer and have that cup of coffee.
Very well.
They leave, and Ethan does the MI2 thing again to hack the core and delete the files that were being downloaded. In the middle of deleting, Luther sees there is a deadly toxin called neurodioxin being developed inside the facility. So even though it's not part of the mission, Ethan bosses up and makes it a priority. Ethan heads into the research lab, captures a scientist for entry into the server room.
How do we get into the server?
What are you going to do to me?
Nothing. As long as you do what you're told and keep quiet.
Okay, fellas. Now that we have access to the server, I'll need the encryption keys to ID the program that's snatching the intel from the core.
They're located on PDA devices and workstations throughout the office.
You can hear him? Here we go.
Why do they always do that?
Sneaks around to get the passwords. I just realized how much of this game is hands-on hacking. Is that basically the plot of all Mission Impossible movies? I guess that's the plot of most of these movies and games in general, huh? The protagonist is sent in undercover to try to get enough information to eventually shut down the main antagonist's operations. The bad guy is never really that good at being bad, is he? I mean, this video game cannot afford to be as glamorous as the Tom Cruise movies, but with all that said, can you remember who the main bad guy is in any Mission Impossible movies? Let alone this game where I stated who the main bad guy is right at the beginning. Right? Can you remember him? Anyway, Ethan uses the passwords to get into the biolab and destroy the neurodioxin. When he does, he sets off the alarm in the whole facility. When Ethan checks in with Luther, Luther patches him into the security when Jong-ho is really suspicious that the unknown lady is the one that set off the alarm by doing something to the file download. She denies it and says that she is doing it for her father.
Who are you working for?
No one.
Thank you.
I am doing this for my father. You know that.
Alright.
That's the problem with you capitalists. You claim you are compassionate people, that you care about others. But it's always about your wallets, isn't it?
Well, Jong-ho doesn't believe it and tells her to get ready to explain it to Simon Algo in Yugaria. Who the heck is Simon Algo? A little later, it is revealed that the lady has made a virus program called Iceworm and was using it to get the info from the computer core earlier. Since it didn't go off smoothly, Jong-ho plans to blow up the entire facility. Although, I don't know how that will erase any trace of wrongdoing. I mean, did you see how protected the computer core was? Anyway, Ethan fought through Los Muertos on high alert and defused all of the bombs. When Jong-ho and the lady get to the chopper, and Jong-ho tells the lady that Simon Algo ordered the self-destruct, Jong-ho's henchman informs him that they have 7 seconds before the explosions. Why aren't they in the air already? Are they waiting for the ground to cave in underneath them or something?
4, 3, 2, 1. It was set using the encryption program just as you instructed.
How could I have possibly done this?
Sensing she will get shot, she takes her chance and one-punches Jong-ho to the ground and takes his gun. The henchman doesn't freeze like an idiot and gets some hot ones in his chest. He falls over Jong-ho, and that is when the lady escapes in the helicopter. A few minutes later, Ethan shows up and sees Jong-ho stranded on the helipad. A small gunfight ensues, and Jong-ho and company are murked, leaving the helipad open for Ethan's team to extract him. In the briefing, IMF identifies the lady as Sophia Ivanescu, the daughter of a Nobel Prize-winning software engineer named Nicholas Ivanescu. Nicholas was also a revolutionary in Yugaria, and now everything is starting to come together. Sophia is the one who hacked the IMF database, which revealed Ethan's initial mission to extract Muertos. The IMF gives Ethan the mission to go back to Yugaria and retrieve Sophia. So Ethan follows Sophia towards the Yugaria Information Ministry when she gets stopped by the man who killed Muertos. Berkut, the head of the Yugarian Secret Service. Berkut? It's too much. Too much. Anyway, Sophia is upset because Jong Ho was about to kill everyone in that facility, and she knew that Simon Algo gave the order. Because she is the only one that can use the Iceworm program, she demands to speak with Algo himself. I don't know about that. So Ethan creeps into the Ministry of Information building, and we get a cutscene between Berkut and another high-ranking officer. Berkut wants the high-ranking officer to put some manpower on figuring out the passwords to Iceworm, Sophia's hacking program. The officer is like, "That can take years." Classic supervillain. When they leave, Ethan sneaks in and hacks Berkut's computer, finds a bunch of references to Sansara prison and a door code to the supercomputer further in the building. Ethan makes it to the supercomputer, and boy is it under a lot of security. He's just about to do his Mission Impossible 2 thing when Berkut and the officer come walking in, still talking about Iceworm and Sophia. Berkut has come to the realization that they can't get to the codes without interrogating her. So he orders the officer to send Yugarian troops dressed as Russian mobsters to try and extract the codes from her without laying a hand on her. Apparently, she is protected because she is a hostage and her father is being made to work for Simon Algo. It's like a double hostage situation. At this juncture, I must point out, like I always do, that it doesn't pay to be a really good scientist in these type of movies and games. You don't really get a great benefits package or anything like that. They just kidnap your family and make you work and then kill everyone when you're successful. Once you become a world-renowned at something, it seems that there's only a matter of time before some terrorists show up at your door. Anyway, fortunately for Sophia and Nicholas, Ethan and his team have heard the whole conversation, and Luther advises Ethan to get Sophia out of there. So Ethan leaves the Information Ministry building and kills all of the fake Russian mobsters and, of course, saves Sophia, who is hanging from scaffolding for some reason. Then he convinces Sophia to join their cause because Sophia's father is still alive, which she didn't know. And really, she has no other options, right? The IMF explains that neurodioxin program has been relocated to Sansara prison and Berkut is personally overseeing the project. The plan is for Spelvin and Jasmine, the new agent who failed her only mission in the game at the beginning, to pose as triads and try to negotiate the release of an inmate. While security is focused on them, Ethan has to sneak in and destroy the biolab. Ethan sneaks in and finds that his communication with Luther is partially blocked until Ethan hacks the satellite on top of the prison. And man, they are not joking with the security system. Ethan has to grapple, climb, and snake through a laser tower. I mean, when my mom had a dish, any idiot could have just walked up to the side of the house and tilted it to mess up her reception. This Sansara prison really takes pride in its TV signal. I mean, there's no way in hell they are missing any of the World Cup this year.
You refer to this business with Yang Ho Lee. I'm so sorry you had to witness such a tragic event.
I did not invent Iceworm to murder innocent people. I want to know the truth, Simon. Did you give Yang Ho the order, or did he act alone?
Sophia, you know that I would never do such a thing.
What I know is that I agreed to help take down a corrupt government, to avenge my father's death, but I am not so sure that is what I'm doing anymore.
Anyway, once Luther is in, he tells Ethan that Nick, Algo's top bioscientist, is in solitary confinement. Ethan sneaks his way in and asks Nick why he's even in a cell. Nicholas says it's because Algo is holding his daughter hostage to get Nick to make bioweapons. Ethan then gladly reveals that he and his group are working to stop Algo, and Sophia is one of them. He also fills Nick in on Sophia facilitating Algo's rise to power in the name of her father's death. Before Nick can feel bad about getting his daughter into this mess, Ethan recruits him and tells him that he will contact him in the lab later. Nicholas gives Ethan a keepsake that will tell Sophia he is still alive. Ethan's next objective is to get Sophia to a computer inside so she can hack it and get Ethan past the interior security. When he gets her there, she hacks it. He gives her the keepsake, tells her he will get her dad out, and tells her to wait for Spelvin and Jasmine to evacuate her.
Luther, I'm inside the lab. I'm looking for a way to neutralize the biotoxins.
I left a kit in there for you, Ethan. It's got explosives in it and a mask of Berkut, along with some other goodies.
Ethan, slight change of plans. You won't be able to penetrate Berkut's office directly. There's a security checkpoint you can't bypass. You'll have to use the Wasp.
Got ya.
And since you'll be disguised as Berkut, obviously you'll need to take him out first.
I've been looking forward to that.
Alright, let's go ahead and take his ass out.
How's it going, Ethan? Got your Berkut mask on yet?
That's Colonel Berkut to you, son.
How's it look?
I don't know. I'm afraid to look in the mirror and scare myself.
Ethan Berkut walks through the security to the biolab where Nicholas is. Nick tells him how to destroy the neurodioxin. Ethan Berkut does it and then comes back to reveal that he's actually Ethan Hunt. Surprise! He is just about to escort Nick out of there when Luther tells him something is going down. Together, they witness Spelvin, Jasmine, and Sophia getting close to the front door before they are surprised, at gunpoint, by Algo himself. They've been made. Spelvin tries to talk his way out of it and gets shot in the chest. He dead. Jasmine, the real hero of the game, charges right at Algo like a noob and gets shot also. She's not dead because she means so much to the story. Algo takes Sophia with him, turns on the alarm, and leaves. Ethan wants to go after him, but Nicholas tells him he won't make it once the alarm sets in. So instead, Ethan sets the bombs to blow up the now harmless neurotoxin as he shoots through scores of jobbers that walk right through the door. Once Ethan is done, Nicholas is free to head towards Billy in the evac helicopter. That's one down. Jasmine has leveled up to damsel in distress as she is trying to get out the side door. Ethan provides cover fire as Luther fails to remotely hack the door. That's okay though, because Billy comes to the rescue and picks up Jasmine. That's two down. Ethan looks around for Sophia and Algo to no avail. When Billy gets back with the chopper, Ethan grapples onto it, and that's when Luther decides to blow everything up. I mean, he could have waited for the okay from Ethan, but Ah, he'll be okay. Right away, they find Algo on a plane and chase him in their own plane. Luther informs Ethan that the plane is a flying tech demo and advises Ethan against boarding it in the air. I mean, following it to its destination and then dealing with Algo when he lands seems to be the smartest course, but screw that. Ethan made a promise. Ethan jumps out of the plane until he gets level with Algo's plane and engages his jetpack. In the meantime, Algo takes out a rocket launcher and shoots Berkut for being such an idiot. The rocket barely makes it out of the cargo hold before it explodes. That would not make me feel okay at all. Anyway, the jobbers get tipped off that Ethan is heading that way and prepare for him. Ethan still makes it on, though. And sets the bombs on the wings and tail of the plane. I hope Luther isn't the one with his finger on the trigger again. This mission is impossible enough. Ethan sneaks past half of the security, then Algo raises the alarm. Then Ethan blasts past the other half.
Sneak me, Mr. Hunt.
Look at that bullshit. Hit him!
Ethan's hit. Abort, repeat, abort the mission. Ethan, are you still with me? Ethan, come in. Ethan's not responding. Abort the mission.
I don't need this
repeat,
now.
Abort the mission.
When he gets to Sophia and Algo, Algo uses Sophia as a hostage to get Ethan to drop his weapon. Then Algo tries to kill Ethan, but Sophia saves Ethan and pushes Algo out the window. But then Algo grabs Sophia on the way out, so now they both free fall. Ethan takes a look around, no extra parachute. Sophia is SOL too. Algo had the last one. Screw it. Ethan jumps out of the plane anyway.
Ethan, talk to me.
Sophia got yanked out of the plane by Algo. I'm in hot pursuit.
You're free falling?
That's affirmative.
Ethan, tell me there's a parachute involved.
Minor detail.
Minor detail. Ethan, need I remind you how little time you have left before you hit ground zero and permanently mess up our friendship?
Relax, Luther. There's plenty of parachutes out here. We just have to get ourselves one.
A few seconds later, Ethan finds a random henchman with a parachute. I guess jobbers fall slower than main characters. Then he beats him up, takes it, and flies to Sophia for the save. They follow Algo to a skyscraper of a company that Algo apparently owns.
Did you think that I would take my eyes off you for even a moment, Mr. Hunt? Oh no, I will not do that until they have poured the last bit of dirt on your grave.
Ethan shoos Sophia to safety while he kills all the jobbers and chases Algo into a room with a bunch of huge gears. Does this skyscraper double as a clock tower too? Otherwise, this room makes no sense to me. Anyway, that was the summary, and here is the ending. Got it.
Pity it has to end this way, Alvo. I was rather fond of you.
Far cry from Eastern Europe, wouldn't you say?
Are you kidding? Where I grew up, all the water is brown. And that is just what comes out of the faucet.
You're pretty funny for a computer geek.
Who are you calling a geek, mister? You are the one with all the gadgets.
But can I hack into any computer system in the entire world? I think not.
I believe my love affair with technology is over.
Then maybe it's time to start another.
Perhaps it is.
Dude! Shout out to my old roommate Mason. He was such a fucking train wreck that he will never hear me say that or give him a shout out, but I'll do it anyway. Dude, bro. Anyway, that was a video game plot summary for Mission Impossible Operation Surma. Now, this game has a slight special place in my heart because I played it a while when I was like in college on my Xbox, you know. I had gotten an Xbox. You know, I bought it from a martial arts student I had who was Indian, who was going back to India at some point. So he sold me his Xbox for cheap. And it was one of the first games that I bought for the Xbox. And I actually enjoyed it a lot, to the point where I sold it and then bought it again later on in life to play it again and deal with all the stuff that sucks with it all over again. Although it wasn't really that bad, you know. The story, I mean, because I already gave the review for the game, but it had the voice of Steve Blum, you know, of every anime you've ever watched fame, you know, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, you know, he's got that raspy, cool ass voice that I mean, I can't get enough of. Every time I hear him, it's like some sort of crazy Easter egg has been, you know, exposed in whatever game or movie or whatever, you know, Star Wars, Clone Wars, Stormtrooper voice, you know, any of that stuff, you know, it's awesome. It's always cool. And yeah, I mean, the only problem I really had with the story, which to me ran like a normal Mission Impossible story, was that Jasmine chick, man. Jasmine, like they had a plan for her before, like way at the end, I feel, and then the writers just wrote her in. But I have no idea why they made her so incapable when she was supposed to be working for the Impossible Mission Force, right? I mean, I know she probably like was topping her class on everything and all those 90s tropes, you know, where Ethan's like, I don't have time for these people. And then Jasmine's like, I finished at the top of my class. It's marksmanship, top of my class. I was numbered in the top 10 of my class for this. I was so awesome that everybody praised me. You're just gonna turn me away? And then Ethan's like, fine, look, let me just give you the simple ass job. Can you just fucking drop off the equipment that I need that I can't carry over the thing, you know, like, because I'm coming in with my jacket looking like a normal person, right? I just need you to do a drop off. Can you handle that? That's about the easiest shit an IMFer can do, okay? Just do that for me. And she takes 3 steps, looks at a guard that looks back at her, and she's like, fuck it, I can't do this. And then she throws it behind a dumpster. How is that even better? If she felt like she was being made, how would she get rid of a backpack full of crap and not be discovered anyway? You know? She wasn't even made. She just felt like she was getting made and went back to the van. And then Ethan, he's talking smack about her, you know? Even though she flubbed up the last mission, he still kept him on, and I wouldn't have. I would have. He's like, it was ill. He's like, make sure she watches what I do so she understands what it takes. Like, you know. Luther, sit her in front of the monitors. It's just too bad we need a filthy dame to cover half of these damn missions. You know. It stunk. In Mission Impossible 2, the movie, Tom Cruise, he sexually seduced and recruited a super good cat burglar. You know what I'm saying? She knew how to do her damn job. She's stealing stuff, pickpocketing, doing all that stuff, and it was awesome. You know? And then we zip to this video game where the girl can't even do a drop-off. Thanks a lot, IMF, for hooking me up with this one. Thanks, Jasmine, for getting your shit together. You know, put her on some simple missions, huh? You would believe that she was experienced at some point. I think I got made. I'm gonna do the drop off right here, as opposed to where. It's a good thing they didn't tell you where, you know, because I would have been mad if it's like, you know, do the drop off. I mean, given the rest of the area, the drop off at the dumpster was pretty much the best place, but they just had to add that in there. Like, oh, we've got an insufficient woman in our midst. Ethan, you're gonna have to do something extra because this woman couldn't get her job done. Like, okay. Everybody else came in. They came in. You know, they did what they were supposed to do, you know. Somehow she didn't get killed. You know? Spelvin got killed, and he did all the damn work. You know what I'm saying? He came in as a doctor. He you know, got extra suits for Ethan. He did inside job hacking, you know, when they didn't have an extra hacker, so they had a hacker outside Luther, but he couldn't get past the security for the inside, so they needed Spelvin to be the hacker on the inside. He went through there, he handled everything. But this chick can't even drop off a damn grappling hook or something. It was just embarrassing for all of the IMF, you know. Other than that, everything was cool. The characters were really, you know, standard. The bad guy, Simon Algo, was like not even. He barely even made an appearance. You know what I'm saying? Killing him was just as, you know, climactic as killing the damn. What was his name? Jung Ho. At least that guy seemed like a douchebag. Simon Algo was a douchebag. But you didn't spend enough time with him to know how much of a douchebag he was. You know, he just appeared at the end, and then he caused a bunch of problems. He shot his employee that sucked at his job, which, you know, I probably would have shot him too if I was just flying up in the air. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and blow him up into meat chunks with a bazooka. That'd be awesome. Have his whole body just float down. Ever just one of these times just be sitting in a neighborhood or something, you look up in the sky thinking it's raining, but really it's blood and meat chunks? Well, congratulations, you know what happened now. But yeah, for sure. I enjoyed the story. I had as much fun as I normally have with those games. It's all about government conspiracies and not government conspiracy. Some dude turning coach. He's already been trained as some sort of super spy, and now he's a super spy for himself and not everybody else. He doesn't even want to be a mercenary. He just wants to mess people up. And you know, that's cool too. That's nice. Only a spy can take down a spy, I guess. Once you kill Algo, I mean, who the hell takes over Yugaria now, you know? Well, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh shit, we don't have a leader. They had a hostile takeover. There's just gonna be some douchebag taking Algo's place, and Ethan will have to come get that guy. I mean, that's the way it works, right? Anyway, that's enough rambling. That's about 34 minutes. Oh, shiza. Plus the actual ending. So we're beating on 40 minutes, huh? So let me go ahead and stop this. Thank you everybody for tuning in. If you did this far, thank you for tuning in. If you didn't tune in this far, even though you're not going to know if I said thank you. And yeah, leave a comment, you know, engagement, all that, so that, you know, we can build the channel. And thank you for anybody who has been, like, thank you for the subscribers of the channel, most definitely, because I see my subscriber number creeping up, and I'm barely doing anything, and it just makes me feel bad that I don't have the time to just shoot out videos for you guys. But maybe someday I will have the time for it. Who knows? Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next Dad's video game plot summaries. Haha, I always say that. Video game plot summaries. Peace.